Hey there, I'm Anders Engnell, and I lead community partnerships for the East Solano Plan. I'll be doing an Ask Me Anything this Wednesday on everything East Solano Plan and the community development work in Solano County. Really excited to talk with you all, so drop your comments and questions in this thread or in the comments here on this video. We'll talk about everything from the East Solano Plan's investments in existing communities to our work out there on the 17,000 acres. My background's in building walkable, people-first communities all across the country, so I'm really excited to have this AMA with you all. We'll talk soon. There. You've got Anders here for the Ask Me Anything about the East Solano Plan. So, our first set of questions revolve around the same idea. How would I get around this new community? Well, what's exciting about designing a walkable community from scratch is you have all the options available to you. Can you right now walk out of your front door to a coffee shop around the corner? Can you take a shuttle on a dedicated private lane bypassing traffic to work? Are you able to bike down a safe, protected lane to see friends or family? Probably not. A lot of our communities just aren't designed this way. So we can design new communities in East Solano from scratch where you have all the options available to you. That's as free as it gets. Let's choose how we want to get around. We have a bunch of questions on cars and how they'll fit into the new community. And there's even one on my perspective on cars too. So cars are going to be essential to getting around this new community. Whether you own your car and park it in your private garage or in a shared garage around the corner, whether you're taking a ride with a Lyft, Uber, or taxi, or renting a car for trips around. But they're not going to be the only thing. We're going to have this amazing freedom of mobility where you can walk to a coffee shop around the corner, or you can take a shuttle on a private dedicated lane to work, or you'll be able to bike along safe protected lanes all throughout the community. You'll have all the options available to you. And that's something that's missing in a lot of our communities today. So I think it's exciting that we're going to have not just cars and all of the options we already have for getting around, but so many more as well. We had a really good question come up. Why should we plan new communities like this up front? Why not just let our communities kind of pop up like wildflowers around our existing cities, ad hoc, haphazard, a little bit here, a little bit there? Well, here's why. When we plan a new community like this, planning for 50,000 people in the next decade or two, planning for hundreds of thousands over the coming decades, even centuries, we can do all the amazing things we need up front. Schools we can build ahead of demand. Roads we can lay out in a safe, sensible way to fit within the community. We can build the water recycling and waste treatment plants up front to serve the whole community before folks even move in. Imagine trying to build a complete water recycling system within existing cities now. We'd have to tear up streets. We'd have to tear open homes. It'd be incredibly difficult. Up front, with a whole lot of folks moving in over coming decades and centuries, we can plan in a completely different way. Going to handle fire insurance. In the modern day, it can be very expensive for homeowners and apartment owners, and you need all sorts of partnerships to pull that sort of thing off. It's difficult to do. Well, here's the good news about the new community. We're going to be building from scratch, meaning we'll be building with the best technologies and codes available to us to fireproof the buildings with sprinkler systems, multiple hour fire ratings, hydrants all around, and so much more. That right off the bat makes it easier to insure this new community. But even beyond that, the area where we're building has the same fire risk as nearby areas like Rio Vista or Dixon, and much lower fire risk than, say, West Vacaville or West Fairfield. So we're building in an area where with new construction and the location, we'll be in a great position for good partnerships and success on the fire insurance front for our residents and families. And even beyond that, we're going to have great partnerships with local fire districts and emergency response to ensure that we have the right folks with the right equipment and stations nearby to take care of any issues that may arise. We build new communities at all. Why not just build inside of existing cities? What's called infill in the industry. Well, I've spent my whole life working on infill projects, and they're a marvelous way to bring exciting new things to communities. New housing, new jobs, new retail. But when you have this much of a shortage of housing and local jobs, it's helpful to have another tool in the kit. And when you're building a community from scratch, you're able to pick the best area for it. One that's resilient to climate change, doesn't have a lot of exposure to earthquakes, is built on land that's good for development, not as good for farming. And you can also design this community to be the most sustainable in the world with modern technologies that are just hard to incorporate into our existing cities. When you build inside of existing cities, you can't overhaul the entire water recycling system to turn it into a closed loop. You can't redo the electrical network to make it entirely dependent on renewable energies and also a key part of your waste system. This is all something that's possible when you're building a new community from scratch. Okay, so we've gotten a bunch of questions on the Solano Lagoon. In summary, they're about its water supply and the environmental sustainability of it, about its location, and about why we need it. So to start, Solano Lagoon is in partnership with a group called Crystal Lagoons, and it's bringing a 7-acre public pool and lagoon area with a much larger campus to the center of our great park in the middle of this community. And it uses 1/25th of the water supply of a normal golf course. And this kind of gets to the core of what we want to do with the new community. We want to build a place that's great for the people of Solano County and the future generations here. And recreation is an important part of that. So instead of driving all the way hours over to the coast or many hours away for sporting events or other recreational opportunities, let's bring that here to Solano County, save that time and money, and keep our families, friends, and future generations here in Solano. We're really excited to bring this to Solano County and so glad you're all a part of the journey with us. So we had a really thoughtful community member ask about small businesses in the new community. They're wondering, will you invest directly in small businesses? Will you allow other businesses like Starbucks, Walmart, or others to be in the area? How will you kind of encourage and support local businesses to thrive while still keeping it open? And this is a great question. So we're going to have a community with all sorts of businesses. Brands you know, brands you don't, local, all from the area. But we're only supporting and incentivizing small businesses from Solano County. So our $70 million Solano Scholarships Fund for each phase of the community will provide student scholarships, small business grants, and grants for nonprofits. And those are grants for Solano County businesses to locate inside of the new community, to expand, to upgrade their facilities, to be a part of what we're doing. The Solano Plan is located in unincorporated Solano County area. This means that Solano County residents get access to all the benefits created through this initiative. The $400 million Homes for All program, the $200 million investment in Solano downtowns, $70 million for scholarships and small business grants, and $30 million for Green Solano, investments in the conservation and mitigation of the surrounding areas. They also get to be a part of the governance of the new community by voting for the Board of Supervisors, who act kind of like the City Council for the area and will provide both oversight and direct governance through the development agreement and the environmental impact report. Beyond this new community has to pay its own way. It has to pay for its own police support in partnership with Solano County Sheriff, upgrading infrastructure, providing new equipment and stations, and more. It has to pay its own way on fire with local fire districts, on emergency response, and utility districts in the area. All this has to be done through private investment by the East Solano Plan or by tax districts, only in that new community area. That's all for this week's AMA. So excited to have many more conversations to come. A ton more questions to answer and things to share through town halls, house parties, and other Ask Me Anythings like this. We're so excited for years of conversations ahead. I'm Anders Engnell, the lead of community partnerships with the East Solano Plan. We're all neighbors, so let's build a great new community together. Thanks, and see you next time.